So before we get to the solution, let's first answer what are the threats, and then we'll get to what to do about it second.
Welcome to my legal academy, helping lawyers work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life.
All right. So this is called How to Protect Your Law Firm and Prevent Your Worst Nightmare. Okay. All of these will hopefully prevent you from having a really bad day or a bad week. So before we get to the solution, let's first answer what are the threats, and then we'll get to what to do about it second. But one is your current or past employees or your virtual assistants can sabotage you, usually accidentally, but sometimes intentionally. Okay, well, what can we do about that? That's the first thing we want to kind of make sure that we don't let it happen. Second is getting hacked by a hacker or someone holding your files hostage for ransom. This happens more frequently than you think. This has happened to my mentor twice. 2 Bitcoin ransom hacks that's happened. Third is accidents, water spills, drops, and fires is very relevant for me. I've had probably at least 3 or 4 water spills on my computer. So I'm at this point used to it. What to do about that? Or theft. You leave your office door open, or somebody comes in when not supposed to and steal something, or forgetting your password, or probably the most frequent one, clicking on unsafe links or opening dangerous email attachments. This is probably by far the most frequent, or probably second most frequent is other things that are not even on this list, other unexpected threats that we're not even aware of. It could happen and we're not even aware that it happened. Now, what can we do about it? All right, so this is meant to be a checklist. You're not going to go through the entire checklist and check off everything today and this week, but be very cognizant of this and try to over time check off as many of these as you can. The more of these you check off, the more you mitigate, the lower chances you have of things, the risks that could happen. Okay, so as much of these as possible is our goal. Number one that everybody needs to do, you need a password manager, whether you like it or not. Okay. So let's talk about password managers. There's a bunch of different options. It doesn't matter which one you use, as long as it's one that you actually use. I used to use Dashlane, but that was glitchy. So I moved over to LastPass, and now I use 1Password. And I could easily and confidently say that 1Password is by far the best. I'm super happy with it. I found Dashlane and LastPass to be glitchy. If you have it and it's working well for you, by all means, use it. But once I moved over to 1Password, it's been amazing. It's super fast. It always works. It's super organized. It's super clean. I just love it. I don't know why. It's like into organization. It feels amazing to have such a good, clean tool.
Sam, I was going to ask, how difficult was it to move from LastPass to 1Password?
Very easy. Very easy. 1Password is very cognizant that a lot of people are moving from LastPass to 1Password. By the way, just about a month, 5-6 weeks ago, LastPass had a huge leak.
Yeah,
had a huge hack, and people were like super upset. And 1Password is like in the front runner of like password managers. They jumped on it. They like made a lot of content about how to migrate from LastPass to 1Password right away. So if you just go on Google and you search for migrate LastPass to 1Password, you'll find plenty of. This is the video. It's very easy. Basically, they have like tools and you export things and import it. I remember doing it very swiftly.
Do you buy a seat for each of your team members, or how do you share generally?
So let's go through the subscriptions. So there's 2 types. So ideally it would be basically this, the team and business, $20 a month. You have up to 10 people that you could share passwords with, basically. This is the option.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. Especially with the value proposition is pretty high. This is like worth thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Again, don't worry about the $20 or $10 or $10 or $20 or $60. It's the value is still a lot. So yeah, don't overthink it. Get on a password manager. Again, the reason is when you don't have a password manager, you always use the same password, which you should never do. The reason is that's a dependency. If somebody hacks or something happens to one platform, then they could potentially hack into other platforms, which is horrible. So ideally, you always want to use unique, strong passwords. And it does make a difference about how strong it is, by the way. If you use just like a common word, that's a lot more hackable than a random generic character number kind of password. Have that in mind. use unique passwords across different platforms. And because it's all saved, you don't have to worry about what the password is. You just make the strongest one, or the one password has a feature that says create me a password. It just makes you this obscure password. It saves it for you. You don't have to worry about memorizing it. That's the one benefit. And second is you have to share passwords securely. You just give access to your team, etc. Okay, that's a must for everybody. This is just one of those things you just have to do. Just get on a password manager. Don't overthink it. Next, okay. Next thing is I don't use the same password for different websites. If you already have the same password already, especially your most important accounts, which is by far your email is by far the most important because that's opens up access to a lot of different things. Second is your bank accounts. Make sure at least for those ones, you have a unique password. Other thing, again, I'll try to point out if it's really important to do it. This is probably the important ones I put up front for you, is turn on two-step authentication for your most important logins. Okay, like especially Gmail. Two-step authentication just means you need to verify it besides just putting the password, but somewhere else you verify it. There's different forms of two-step authentication. The most common one is the text two-step authentication. It's not ideal because sometimes good hackers could call up your phone company and basically get access to your phone. It's not ideal. So instead, you want to use an app as your two-step authentication. The most popular app for this is called Google Authenticator, but Google Authenticator is not ideal. I had to learn this the hard way because whenever you have Google Authenticator on your phone and you lose your phone or your phone goes swimming and you get a new phone, you have to reset all your two-step authentications. Your Google Authenticator doesn't save your codes. So you have to start over and it's a messy, very messy process to go reset the two-step authentication, super messy. So instead, there's an app called Authy. It's a mobile app. You install it on your phone, and the good part is also has it as a desktop app. And this is basically the best two-step authenticator program that you can use.
Do you also have your VAs download this when they're basically logging into your email and doing all these tasks, and it's all on two-step?
Exactly. Yes. For my Gmail, and my Facebook, I have a two-step authentication. That means the first time they log in, they have to go through me. I have to give them a code. Sometimes it's annoying, it's cumbersome, but it's definitely worth the extra benefit of being secure. Especially with Facebook, there are a bunch of people who are managing my Facebook account. They have a way, they just text me, they just say who they are, and I give them the code, and they have 30 seconds to enter the code to get in.
Every time they log in?
Not every time they log in. What I tell them to do is have two different browsers. Let's just say browsers, like you have Chrome, you have Safari, you have Firefox. So I would say just have a dedicated browser just for this, just for work, and then don't log out. Keep that open. Next this is also a must. Everybody needs to have at least one backup, but even two. Why two? Because sometimes it may not back up for whatever reason. Some things, just don't work, whatever. What I do myself is I use Backblaze. It's just a computer program. I just install it once, I sign up for the account, and in the background, it's automatically just backing up things without slowing down my internet. I don't notice whenever it's updating. It always backs it up in the background. So it's cheap, it's inexpensive. Again, these are all forms of insurance and different ways to make sure that it's $100 a month that I'm willing to spend so that I don't have to spend $300,000 of lawsuits potentially down the line. The second one that I recommend is one called Backupify, which automatically backs up your entire Google Workspace or your entire Microsoft 365, which is really cool. You don't have to worry. I don't worry at this point. My entire Google Workspace, all my Google Drive folders, all my Gmails, all my photos, everything inside of Google Workspace automatically backed up. And this doesn't matter, even if you're on Microsoft 365, it also has that too. It's a little bit technical in the beginning. They have some good resources, instructions. You basically have to go into Google Workspace and verify that, it's my account that I'm allowing Backupify to back up. But once you do that automatically, again, in the background, it's just doing its thing. I don't have to check on it or do anything at all. This is the comprehensive list. If you guys want the comprehensive list of stuff, again, use as a resource, kind of like if I need to look at alternatives or different things, backup. Oh, let me search for backup. Oh, okay, backup options. So that's one. Let's go down. Let's keep it going. This is a good one. Is I terminate access to work files before I terminate employees. That speaks for itself. Okay. Next is I disabled automatic logins on work computers. You shouldn't, any of our employees' computers, they shouldn't be able to just get on it and just log in and do whatever. That's very risky. So make sure, again, if you haven't set, circle it today, go walk up to the office and make sure you add a password for logging in. Don't make it universal. Again, you could potentially use your password manager to save those passwords. Make sure to save it.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you're a lawyer and you're looking to work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life, right below this video, you'll find a link to book a call to speak to my team so we can tell you how we've been able to help over 500 law firm owners scale their law firm. Now back to the video.
Again, very practical stuff that I'm sharing with you is I lock office doors when no one is at the office. Some people are guilty of this. They just step out and like, wait a minute, anybody can just walk in. There's also really good, these days, there's like a lot of automation locks, these wise locks, especially like these particular ones. This I found to be really good. You can give access to your employees instead of giving keys or whatever. You know, you can use these and remove access. Let's keep it going just to get the ball rolling so we can get to our stories so people can share with us. Is I frequently change my most important passwords. As Mike shared, he in Google Workspace, there's a way every 30 days to require everybody to change their password. Not just everybody, but yourself, definitely yourself. But I'm actually on Monday, I'm going to reset my password, and now there's going to be like 70 people, a bunch of people that basically need to get the password again. And you just do this just in case the password gets shared or saved on one of your employees' computers and somebody finds it later down the line. They're not going to be able to just log in every month, you know, be able to kind of refreshen things up. Next is I keep software and systems updated with the latest security updates. Okay, whenever you see those prompts, should I update my things? Yes, you should always click yes. The reason why you get those updates sometimes is for security reasons. There could be a new security leak. And what these companies, they create these updates so that, that security leak is prevented before they come and take advantage of it. So always update everything, always. Next is I educate my employees not to click on suspicious links. This was brought up. This is probably the most frequent thing that could happen. Let's talk about that. I know Pankaj wants to talk about that. Let me just give my little spiel. There's a bunch of emails that you could potentially get that are so damn good. I'm pretty savvy, technical savvy. It even happened to me, I remember 3 years ago. It was, they always somehow make it urgency. Something it like just happened, losing money or something just happened and you need to fill this out right now. They always have that. So be on the lookout for that. It's some urgency kind of based thing. And then the links, sometimes you have to like really check the links. And it's not just the link that it shows. It's whenever you hover over it. Usually Chrome and stuff, they have a little feature that it shows the actual link. So make sure that that link is legit. And usually they hide the link. It should be, if it's an Amazon email, it should literally come from Amazon or Amazon.something. It shouldn't come from these random things. It's like different. Just be careful. So that's one thing. Another popular one that I've seen is an email that's coming from Facebook, and it's a Facebook link. It's a legit Facebook link. When you click on that, it goes to like a Facebook page or a Facebook group or something. And then in that is the hidden link, is the malicious link. And, just be careful. Attachments is a huge one. Don't download any random attachments. Okay. Even though it shows that it's legit, be careful. Another one is, I remember this happened to, I'll share a story. It happened to my, one of my mentors' companies was somebody hacked their entire emails and they sent out a blast of emails to all their clients and said, hey, we have a new bank account for this month's payment. Please send it to this bank account. And then there was a droves of their clients who made payments to this new bank account. And the company wasn't aware that these emails were sent out. And all these angry clients made these payments to this obscure random bank account. And now they're like, we paid you. Like, what do you mean? We didn't get your payment. And they found out that they were hacked and these emails were sent out with like this erroneous bank information. And all these, literally their clients, like a bunch of their clients, dozens of clients lost tens of thousands of dollars of money. And now the question is, who's at fault? Well, it came from your email inbox. So most likely, it's probably the company's fault. So very crazy. Next, I dispose of confidential information securely, such as by trading paper documents. Speaks for itself. And very important is you make sure they have legal malpractice insurance. Some states require it. Hopefully it should be required. It should be something that I think everybody should have. So make sure that you have legal malpractice insurance with enough coverage. A lot of people miss this part. Okay. The more the merrier. You can never have enough. If anybody has any idea, or if anybody is an insurance guru, let me know. From what I understand, I think like 400,000 to $1 million or something. 400,000. I don't know. From what I remember when I got advised about this. But have enough, basically. Or go double whatever you have. Or if you don't know what it is, go ask how much you have and find out what that is. And from what I know, at least, from what I remember, like 400,000 to like something in $1 million kind of makes sense for most of us.